Welcome back to the Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we discuss the movie Heartbreak Ridge 1 minute at a time. I am your co host, Brian Lockhart.
And I am Jack Perry.
And today, Jack and I are going to be discussing minute 10 of Heartbreak Ridge. Minute 10 begins with Clint Eastwood wondering about favors, and it ends with Clint Eastwood discussing what a man in his position would do with his commanding officer. So we pick back up with the quartermaster, where he's trying to make friends with Clint Eastwood, and Clint Eastwood's kind of wondering, we can be friends so we can do each other favors. And he's like, yep, he can make his lot in the military life pretty easy if his eyes weren't so clean and his pencil wasn't so sharp. Not clean. If his eyes weren't so clear.
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny, considering Clint Eastwood is always squinting.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he's having trouble seeing anything anyway.
Especially in this movie. Like, Clint Eastwood squints a lot anyways.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think he ever not squints in this movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just kind of find it pretty arrogant that you're going to have as we discussed the last episode, this sergeant trying to school this gunnery sergeant who's been in for, since Christ was a corporal.
Right.
About, what military life can be like. Like this, it seems a little silly to me, a little arrogant. But then in true Marine fashion, he doesn't just sell him out right away. He just tells him to get that shit out of his face.
Well, what I think is funny about it is he's approaching Clint Eastwood to make his lot in military life, pretty easy and a lot more comfortable. Clint Eastwood has been in forever, and and there's no way he's staying in for much longer.
Yeah.
So, is this the best guy to go ahead and approach?
Yeah.
For your your Hogan's Heroes and schemes, like.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, he's close to retirement. Gunny Highway's close to getting out, and there you are.
And we talked about the quartermaster there getting, probably busted down to corporal or lance corporal a couple times. We probably know why. He probably got caught doing his little schemes, but it doesn't seem to be slowing him down.
Not at all.
Yeah, because he's clearly not too smart, because if you look at Clint Eastwood, he is not the approachable type who's going to be in for some shenanigans. He is like a Marine's Marine.
Yeah.
And this guy's all lackadaisical coming in, trying to get him in on his little, shenanigans. So no wonder he probably got busted, because he's clearly not a good judge of character.
No. I'm wondering too if this particular sergeant is an actual like subordinate to him, or if he's just a neighboring shop.
I think he's a neighboring shop, because in the last minute he said something about, we just about cleared you guys out, helping Uncle Sam. Remember, helping Uncle Sam fight dusty drawers or something like that. So yeah, I think he's just somebody that was coming in for requisitions, and or something like that.
Notice too in the background that they were packing chutes.
Yes, and I noticed one of the guys kind of looks over his shoulder when Clint Eastwood leaves.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if he's like, at first I thought he was looking at the camera, but he doesn't look at the camera. He looks at Clint Eastwood. And I'm wondering if that was like a real Marine that was like, oh my God, there's Clint Eastwood going over there. I do like Clint's response, Sergeant, get that stogie out of my face before I shove it so far up your ass. You'll have to light your nose, set your nose on fire to light it or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Granted, obviously it's a movie and he's an actor, but he's got these such long, convoluted comebacks to everything. I'm like, I can't even say it, and I got it written down.
Yeah. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, you know what? It's kind of funny though, because there's so many things about this movie and about Clint Eastwood, and it kind of set the bar for like a lot of the Marines that we served with, and just the dialect, the way that Marines spoke to each other, especially like the senior guys to the junior guys, which was kind of funny because between him and Arlie Emery, there's not a lot of wiggle room. They kind of wrote the book.
Oh yeah, they definitely are, the quintessential Marines, especially in movies and TV.
Yep.
I mean, that not to shortchange Private Pyle though.
Well, but yeah, not at all.
Golly.
Yeah.
So after he tells the quartermaster to basically shove that cigar up his ass, he's told to go see Major Devon. Devon? Major Devon? Is it Major Devon wants to see him?
Yeah.
So he slaps
The,
the
the boss.
yeah, he slaps a clipboard over there and goes off to see what we assume is this is commanding officer.
Yep.
So Major Devon is played by Peter Jason, and I recognize him from They Live.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, he was the guy that was running the church and They Live.
Yep. Yeah, and it's funny. There's something about his voice. He's one of those guys. Hey, that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. You
He's
see
in
him,
a
you
lot.
just know him.
Right, and it's his voice too. Like, and for me, it's from They Live,
Yeah.
which is a great movie. But I noticed he was in a lot of John Carpenter movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he was well, you know what? Actually, off the top of my head, I think he was in the Escape From movies.
Yeah, I'm not sure about New York, but he was definitely in L.A.
Yeah.
Think he was in Ghost of Mars one or whatever.
Yeah, he may have been. He
Yeah.
may have been. That was not one of the well known ones. However, what was that vampire one that John Carpenter did? It had Edward James Woods in it.
Oh, Vampire in Brooklyn.
No, that was Eddie Murphy. That was Eddie
Yeah,
Murphy.
I'm well aware.
Dick.
I don't know. It was like Dracula 2000 or something like that.
No, it was a damn it. Anyway, it was a pretty good movie, but I think he may have been in that as well.
If there's only some way to know.
If there was only some way to know. I'm not the research guy, man. I'm just color commentary.
Well, my research is shoddy at best.
Yeah. uh,
I'm gonna find out.
we're gonna do this live?
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Let's do it live. You know what? I'm gonna feel like an ass if that movie was actually called Vampires.
All right, let's see.
James Woods.
It's called Vampires.
I thought it could have been, but I wasn't sure.
1998 Vampires.
Yeah,
John Carpenter.
that movie was actually pretty good, but the book I thought was a little bit better, which is, how ironic that is. But yeah, the book was a little bit more graphic.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. But I said like the book goes into a little bit more detail about like what being controlled by a vampire was like, and you could kind of shake it off from what I remember, a little bit anyway. But yeah, anyway, enough about that.
What you want to do? Vampires minute?
Yeah, we'll wait till April 1st.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we'll focus on Heartbreak Ridge then. So Clint Eastwood goes to see Major Devon, guy from They Live, and the first thing he walks up to him, he does whatever Marie's supposed to do and report in. He's like, Jesus Christ, Gunny, quit being so goddamn gung ho. Oh, that's what I am, sir. I started this podcast just so that I could do my crappy Clint Eastwood impression, every other episode.
And the world is better for it.
Right? Hoorah.
Hoorah. I wonder if the major here is actually the same guy from May Live. That would be awesome. He got out of the Marine Corps to find out the world has been taken over by aliens, and the only way to stop the invasion is to buddy up with Ray-Ban.
And of course recruit Rowdy Piper. Rowdy Piper.
Yeah, that's the hero we all needed. There was no Gunny Highway. There is only Roddy Piper.
Well, he's got some good one-liners himself. I could see Clint Eastwood saying, "I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum."
You know what? Clint Eastwood actually would have been pretty good in that movie.
I've made no secret that he is one of my favorite actors. I don't know if he's my favorite, but he is one of my favorite. So I want him to be in pretty much every role.
He could do it. Well, more or less the same performance in every role, but yeah, that's fine.
Look,
if it's a good one.
Yeah, I'm fine with people sticking with what they know. AC/DC has made the same album for like 30 or 40 years now.
Yeah, I know, and they're all incredible.
Yeah, exactly, and it's awesome, and I love every one of them.
Yeah, like John Wick movies. It's like you're not really watching it for the plot.
Stick with what you know.
Yeah.
If you find one thing you're good at, stick with it and do it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so the major says to, Gunny Highway, so what do you got? 24? He goes, and then some, sir. So I was doing the math on that, right? So Clint Eastwood was born in 1930. So that would put him at 20 years old in 1950 when the Korean War kicked off. And we know that Tom Highway was in the Battle of Heartbreak Ridge, which I believe, if I remember, was 1951. So he was 20, 21 years old, roughly, going into Korea. So if he was in for 24 years, and we were talking about this offline a little bit, what did you said your math was he would have, what year did you say he would have joined?
1959.
Right. So that doesn't add up.
No.
So of course, and I was looking at it from the other angle where if he joined in 1950, let's say, got shipped over to Korea for 51 and was in, the Battle of Heartbreak Ridge, and he was in for 24 years, and that should have put him at about 1974, 1975 of getting out, which makes sense because he was also a Vietnam veteran. So those are about the time Vietnam was, totally winding down. But this movie is 1983, and he's still got, a little bit more time. So that's what was 74 to 83. That's what, 9 years. And 24 is a long time, especially back then, because they were probably forcing a lot of guys out because they were drawing down the military post Vietnam. Right. So the fact that he's been in, and so now the math doesn't add up. But here's the but. All right, so we talked about the Battle of Heartbreak Ridge.
Right.
Was a Army engagement, not a Marine.
Correct, which gives credence to your theory that he was in the Army before he was a Marine.
Yes, exactly. Because there was supposedly, and again, we'll have to look out for this because I miss it every time, but I believe there is a line dropped later that they switched from the Army to the Marine Corps. Also, the wife, Aggie, mentions something about, and he would volunteer for every goddamn war that came by. My theory about Tom Highway is he joined the Army, got shipped over to, Korea, fought in the Battle of Heartbreak Ridge, did what he did. We'll learn about his exploits later in the movie. And then he, I say he got out. I think he got out. I think he married his wife, Aggie. I think he tried to be a civilian.
And started a life.
Right, he started a life. And then I say around Vietnam, or maybe leading up to Vietnam in the 60s, he re-upped. And maybe there was something that had him, re-up sooner. It's also possible that he got out because we've known people like this. They get out for a year or two.
Yeah.
And then they, for one reason or another,
decided to go back in.
Exactly. Tom Highway definitely is the type of guy that the military life was for him. Yeah. So it's possible he couldn't adjust to civilian life. It's possible that he missed it, any number of things. And it's also possible that, he's like, well, I'm going to join the Marine Corps. I want a challenge. I want to do something different. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he likes to dress blues.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's my theory is that where that kind of time frame comes in is he did go over there. He got out and then decided to go back in. And honestly, it could have easily gone back in as Vietnam was drawing up,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's completely possible. I mean, it does seem to make sense. Yeah, because as soon as the major called off, or no, I'm sorry, the colonel called off the his record about how long he'd been in. Yeah, I just we had to know, just had to know. Like, all right, let's do a little quick math because it does seem to be kind of a sticking point about this man and his time in service, and so very interesting.
Well, because if he's born in if Clint Eastwood was born in 1930, so he's about 50, and this was filmed in 86, so he's 56 years old doing this role. I mean, he's in great shape. I wish I was in that good a shape.
Yeah, 43,
right? And he's but he's playing younger. He's playing a 53-year-old, Yeah. But even that really doesn't add up as far as your typical military guy, it's usually, I mean, there are some people that make it for 30 years, but you join at 18 and you stay in for 30 years straight through. What is that? 48. So
Yeah.
again, he's older than. I mean, again, he could be playing younger. He could be playing somebody younger. But when you do the math, we know he was in the Battle of Heartbreak Ridge was in 1951. So again, you say 1950, 1951. The math doesn't. There's 9 years, 8 to 9 year gap that we're missing. So I think we're onto something with him. Getting out of the service, but re-upping to a different branch.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems really completely possible.
And that would accommodate his older age, actually.
Right.
An in-universe reason why he's older, not just because Clint Eastwood wanted to make a Marine movie and he's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a fun Marine to watch. Oh, and by the way, if you watch the movie, he's wearing different camis. When he goes to see the colonel, he's wearing different camis.
I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, I just happened to catch that. It was one of those little weird little movie things. I was like, well, I'll see here. I'm sure, nobody outside of, you and I is going to actually give a shit. But he does actually change camis to go see the colonel. Yeah, and the sergeant major is the same guy that hauled him out of jail.
Now you keep saying colonel. They got him listed as Major Devon. So is he? What does he got?
Look, I see.
Those are gold, aren't they?
Yeah, they are gold. Those look like little eagle wings. But am I just not seeing the whole oak?
I don't know. If I just see that, I just start saluting. So
yeah, yeah, I saw shiny stuff. Yeah, yeah, we were hell on Navy bases. All the chiefs got saluted.
I brought up something that when I was my time in Pensacola, being at the Navy, the Naval Air, well, it's not the air station, but the Naval Training Center there. And there was a guy that I was there with, and when we walked by and he'd see like a new butter bars, usually a Navy guy, he'd start to do his salute. And of course, the Navy lieutenant would then, not actually, no, ensign, sorry, as it would be a Marine lieutenant. But the Navy ensign would go to start his salute, and the guy and the Marine, Lance Corporal or private would pull his salute back and pretend like he didn't actually mean to salute him. So the ensign would pull his back, but then the Marine would put his his salute back up, and so the ensign would go do it again, and that would go 3, 4, 5 times in a row. And it was this weird like break dance of like salutes before he'd finally complete it and do it. And it was the funniest thing, and he did it on purpose every time, just to mess with these guys. And I noticed he didn't do it with Marines; he only did it with the Navy guys.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Not even a butter bars lieutenant, second lieutenant wasn't going to put up with that shit.
Yeah.
And like you said, sorry, go ahead.
This is enough of your nonsense.
And of course, we'd always see the chiefs, and you'd start saluting them, and they're like, "Stop saluting me, I'm a chief."
Yeah, quit it.
Anyways, okay. Well, I don't have much else for this minute, other than the major was just right before the minute ends, he's telling Tom Highway that a man in his position might be looking forward to retirement. He goes, "Take the wives on a cruise," something like that. And he just leaves it at that. So he's clearly got something for Gunny Highway. We're just not sure what.
Yeah. Yeah, he's giving him an out, I guess, if he decided to take it. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he is a colonel. I think he is a major. Because I'm sorry. All right, I'm an ass. It's not a bird, it's an oak.
You should be sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just sorry. The way the light was catching, you only saw part of it.
I'm sure it's not the first mistake we made, and I guarantee it will not be our last.
Oh, no, not even a little bit.
All right, Perry, let's get out of here.
Right on.
Everybody, join us next time for minute 11 for the Marine Corps Movie Minute, Heartbreak Ridge. And Perry, if you don't get that microphone out of my face, I'm going to shove it so far up your ass, you're going to have to, I don't know, do something with your nose with it. I lost the metaphor.
It's your turn to choke the line, is it?
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm going to choke every line.
Right on.
All right, man. Thanks for joining me. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Please come back and join us next time for minute 11 of the Marine Corps Movie Minute. Are you there? Uh-oh.